Back at it again with the Mobius Dickus, Chapter 56 of The Less Erroneous Pictures of Whales and the True Pictures of Whaling Scenes. What a subtitle. Just incredible. So this is a short chapter, so I'll keep it brief. I find two things interesting. The first being the repetition of a theme that we've seen before, which is a skepticism about Enlightenment thinking and a preference for the romantic. That's presented here in this passage where we have the discussion of why Garnery's French painting is so much better than the English. And the explanation given here is that for the most part, the English and American whale draftsmen seem entirely content with presenting the mechanical outline of things, such as the vacant profile of the whale, which, so far as picturesqueness of effect is concerned, is about tantamount to sketching the profile of a pyramid. What a wonderful image, right? You wouldn't capture the majesty of a pyramid if you only got the profile, which would be the 2D picture of it. Even Scoresby, the justly renowned right whaleman, after giving us a stiff full length of the Greenland whale and 3 or 4 delicate miniatures of narwhales and porpoises, treats us to a series of classical engravings on boat hooks, chopping knives, and grapnels, and with the microscopic diligence of a Leeuwenhoek, submits to the inspection of a shivering world 96 facsimiles of magnified Arctic snow crystals. And so these examples are given from Scoresby of different physical items which are easy to represent, but have none of the importance of representing the actual experience of being on a whaling ship or going whaling. So obviously what's being said about this kind of scientific thinking is that it can represent unimportant things very, very accurately, right? Even down to 96 magnified snow crystals. Leeuwenhoek was one of the first people who helped invent the microscope. So you can study snow crystals and metaphorical chopping knives really well, but boy, science is hard at talking about the whale. Hence why this chapter is in conversation with chapter 55 before it, that ultimately there's something missing when you try to capture the deeper, more figurative meaning of a whale. Hence the English and American tendency to capture things mechanically and shallowly, as opposed to dive into those difficult depths, which apparently these two French painters, which we can interpret as, at least aligned with the Romantic tradition, are able to do. The only other thing I want to point out about this passage is that we have two paintings from the French that are discussed earlier, which really contrast each other. The first is of a sperm whale, which is kind of messing up a crew that is trying to whale it. And the second is of a right whale, which has been captured and is drooping and dead. That seems an interesting dichotomy, right? It seems to position whaling in its two possible relations of power, as subject or as object. The sperm whale's force and its unknowableness and its whatever traits you want to give it turn the humans into objects, right? This seems to paint the whale as being invested with some force that human beings cannot conquer, whereas the right whale seems to represent the position of humans as subject, where they are dictating the terms and conditions and outcomes of whaling. So I think that they're contrasting images of control, and it makes us think which is true. Are humans really in control, or are we at the mercy of the metaphorical sperm whale? That question's been asked before in this text, and it will be asked again. But I think that contrast of paintings is also an echo of that same question. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will see you in Chapter 57.